So, the Gorilla Girls are a group of artists that I've looked at quite intensely over the past few years. They're a group of people I do look up to because I really like the work and sort of the ideas that they take on board. And I also sort of like the sarcasm and humour that they have. So the first piece of work that I'm looking at is the advantages of being a woman artist. Now, from this list, a lot of it is sarcasm and more disadvantages of being a woman artist rather than a positive. However, at the same time, it has sort of that humour gag to it. I find it's a really sort of like, it's a wholesome piece almost, as it does point fun at the inequalities in almost a nicer light, rather than sort of just saying, yeah, we're being treated badly, as well as people of colour who are in the art world. So that's the first one. Now, with this one, it's you're seeing less than half the picture. It has a nice sort of vibe with it, if I dare say. It is very truthful. Again, it also sort of makes you think. I think if you sort of see this, because a lot of the Gorilla Girls work are sort of billboards and stuff that are really meant to sort of catch your eye. Although something I do find quite interesting is them all being in black and white rather than being in sort of a lot of colour, which is something I'll look at further on. But sort of the boldness of it, of the main piece that you're reading is by a group of female and people of colour artists, are on less than half the page. However, that is pretty much the entire artwork. So that as a whole is, I really do like their sort of concepts and ideas. Something that I found really hard to sort of research was how they come about finding and doing work. Like if there's a certain set group who create work and then send it out, and how they sort of collaborate as the entire group. Because something that the Gorilla Girls are sort of known for, if you're a woman or a person of colour and you put on a gorilla mask, you are then a Gorilla Girl and you can make work on behalf of the Gorilla Girls. However, when there's things like this that come out that are sort of a collaborative poster or something of that sense, how do they do that? That is something I'm yet to find out after looking at them for about 4 or 5 years. But it's all good. So yeah, with this, it definitely has sort of that black and white. Get on top of myself. The black and white thoughts behind it. I think even just them using those two shades could also be a link between sort of the black and white vision that a lot of the art world has, sort of seeing just male white artists being the main ones. It's very a black and white ideology and an old-fashioned way of looking at things, whereas they're sort of trying to take a play on stuff like that, like we also saw with the last one, and they're trying to make it more current but playing on sarcasm. So yeah. Last but not least, we see this piece. This piece is slightly different as it was set place to be in an exhibition, rather than being in sort of a billboard poster sort of thing, quite factual like a lot of the other ones. This one is not only a collaborative piece within the Gorilla Girls as a whole, this is also a collaborative piece in regards to letting the audience get involved as well. And as it says, if I'm not a feminist, but if I was, this is what I could complain about. What I find quite interesting about this is the word feminist has sort of a bad aura around it. It has a lot of things sort of negative relation to saying that feminists are more than or better than or want or superior than other gender. Whereas a lot of cases, some people or some feminists, or they're not really feminists, but some people do take that the extra mile and do go a little bit to that point. However, there is sort of a bad name on feminists. It is basically equality. And having this sort of piece is quite interesting. Again, with sort of the sarcasm and humour of, I'm not a feminist, but if I was, of sort of the high nose ideology. I can't really get my words out. But yeah, I find it really interesting, the fact that they use a very bright and vibrant colour, as maybe this could lead back to what I was talking about before, about sort of the black and white ideas that they have when using sarcasm, linking to white males in that of an artistic industry, compared to what feminists would say in their sort of artistic rights. Sort of the colours being, okay, that was black and white, this is the future, this is what we want to see, this is more colour, this is a little bit more vibrant, this is what things actually want to be. Also sort of the stereotypical baby pink in regards to the feminist, as well as it sort of being a graffiti font, which could lead to sort of connotations of it being sort of like not meant to be there, like it's sort of a secret, because a lot of graffiti artwork could be a sort of thought of being, oh, it's not meant to be there, even though it can fully be there. So yeah, and the chalk that's available to use in sort of two neutral tones of a pale yellow and a white, then you have the pink, and then sort of a baby blue. I don't know what sort of connotations those can have, but overall it's sort of a very contrasting piece compared to the others. I think this is interesting for the Gorilla Girls.